The new Cities of Sigmar models look insane, and obviously I'm pretty hyped for them at this point, but there's a new army set coming out which releases for pre-order on Saturday. So I've already been down to my local game store in order to put a pre-order in, I guess. I don't know. I'm on a waiting list, so hopefully I can get my hands on it. But for this video, we're going to take a look at exactly what's inside of it. Let's take a look at the contents of the box. So the Cities of Sigmar army set is going to come with 28 models, including 20 Free Guild Steel Helms, which is 2 units worth of models, 5 Free Guild Cavaliers, and I can't wait to practice my horse painting skills, by the way. There's going to be a Free Guild Marshal and an Alchemite War Forger. So these are all the units that are in here. However, the Free Guild Marshal in the photo, he also comes with a Relic Envoy, which is not technically a unit on its own. It's going to be something that can accompany your marshal or other units and buff your allies, which is really cool. So obviously there's a ton of firepower in this box. It's a really good way to start an army, especially when it's at the start of a cycle of a new battle tome and everything. Really good value there. So let's take a look at some of these units more specifically. So the Free Guild Marshal, from what I've seen in some preview photos, he can be built with the sword like in the box photo art, but I believe he can also be built with a hammer and the coolest option, dueling pistols, which is so nuts. I just can't wait to build up a little dueler there with a bit of range. Although if he's going to be your general, which I am assuming he will be, then you definitely do want to keep him back as far as possible. Okay, so we also have the Alchemite War Forger, who looks like a total badass carrying that big cauldron. He's a wizard, but has some really cool ways of supporting the rest of the box's warriors. The Free Guild Cavaliers have a lot going for them. They look incredible. They are devastating mounted units, and they excel especially when charging. So these models are going to be where I think the master painters are going to really shine. Now, I'm not personally a master painter, but I do love the aesthetic of the Cavaliers. The mounted knight on, charging into battle is one of my favorite themes, and it's an epic sight. So I can't wait, to get my hands on these, to build these. I'm going to get some experience painting these horses. I really, and I'm going to get some soon anyway, because for my birthday this week, I received from my parents, thank you very much, Mom and Dad, Venari Dawn Riders for my Lumineth army. The one questionable part of the box is the inclusion of 20 Free Guild Steel Helms, as they look pretty unspectacular in combat, but I think that's kind of the point, because they are the regular rank and file of the mortal realms. It's very on brand for them to be the bulk of your army lore-wise. These are just regular dudes that are fighting. They're risking their lives, maybe it's for the Dawnbringer Crusades, trying to find and establish a new city or outpost, and they can drive chaos further back from whence it came. Other than the models, you'll also get access to the new battle tome with a very special cover and a deck of war scroll cards, as well as transfer sheets with the decals for all the different cities icons, which is very cool. That's going to be probably the hardest thing to decide, is which city do you actually play, because there's so many to choose from, so much lore to explore, and that's one of the things I'm most excited for about the new battle tome personally, is I just love reading the lore. Like, I have my Lumineth book right here. I take this to bed. I read it before bed, alternating with the other novel that I'm reading right now. It's just such a fun part of the game. And so I know this is a very big set. I think that obviously this is a really big time to get into Cities of Sigmar. I think most people buying this they're probably going to be restarting their Cities of Sigmar army. And I know there's been some division about the direction that this faction is focusing on, the human-led direction. And the elves and the Durden are still there. They're in the battle tome. You can still play as them, but it's that common man theme that is the main focus for this faction, and in the new book as well. And that's actually been shared to us via the developers in the blog on the Warhammer community site this week, that it is a focus on humans, the regular humans, for people to relate to, because when you look at a Stormcast Eternal, they're like a space marine, they're gigantic, they're not the everyman, the common man. One of the coolest things about this faction that new players will be able to explore is the variability of playstyles that is going to await you, because you can build your army from whatever city you want. right? You can choose from so many different cities. So for example, because I've already started building a Lumineth army as well, I could choose Settlers Gain, and that would be my city. I could build some lore reasons for why my units would be together. You know, maybe they're fighting and it's a combat training exercise, or maybe, you know, we're on a crusade together, or whatever it is, we're defending Settlers Gain together, and that's why we're all there. And yeah, there's going to be some rules oriented parts of that as well, and how many models you can include, but the lore reasons are what really excite me, and that's just such a cool way to go. Now, of course, if you choose Settlers Gain, that's probably going to be a very magic based army, and I already have Lumineth, so maybe that's not the way that I want to go, but either way, the options are there, and I can't wait to explore them a little bit more. With all of that said, I think it's time to wrap up this video. When this product eventually releases and I can get my hands on it, then I think I will be making some content on it, probably an unboxing, and then that will be followed up by diving into the battletome and maybe some sort of progress updates on how the army building and painting is going. But what I want to know at this point is, are you as hyped for Cities of Sigmar as I am? You can let me know in the comments down below. And if possible, you could consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Your support is very appreciated. So that's it. Thank you for coming by, and we'll catch up soon in another video.